Question 23. Below is a regular hexagon. So I haven't written that on there, so we need to appreciate that is a regular hexagon. Regular hexagon PQRSTU with centre at O. Okay. Given that OP is 6, so the vector O to P is 6P. The vector O to Q, O going up to Q is 6Q. Find the other vectors. So in the paper actually says express in terms of P and or Q. So that's the right way to say it. Express in terms of P and or Q. Whereas just to save a bit of space I've just written find the vectors. Okay. 6P is that vector, 6Q is that vector. Now before I work anything out, appreciating that because this is a regular hexagon, then this line here, TU, UT, is parallel and the same length as OP. So I can actually say that that's 6P as well there. And so is that 6P, as long as I go the right way. That way is plus 6P, that way is minus 6P. R to Q plus 6P, Q to R minus 6P. Same applies to this one here. This vector is parallel to this vector, is parallel to this vector, and they're all the same length. So I can also deduce that if OQ is 6Q, then SR is also 6Q, and UP is also 6Q. So just looking at the diagram, I can add that information, and it might become useful later in the question. So here goes. First I'll find the vector P to Q. Now that means start at P and move to Q. You could do that several ways. You could do this. You could start at P and do this. And end at Q. And as far as vectors is concerned, going on this journey is the same as going from P straight to Q. As a vector equation, then P to Q is the same as adding together a journey and ending at Q. Now I don't think I want to go all the way around there, but if we just actually go down here and then go up there, that gives us our answer. Starting at P, ending at Q equals minus 6P plus 6Q, and that's my answer. Minus 6P plus 6Q. We go down this vector, and it's because it's going in the opposite direction to the arrow, minus 6P, and then we go up here, plus 6Q. And all we're interested in is starting at P and ending at Q. Right, TU, where's T and U? Well, in fact, I've already done that from my discussion at the beginning of the question, so there we go. That's the first part done. Finding the vectors in terms of P and or Q. So that also explains why it says P and or Q, because that was just in P. Right, the next part of the question goes on to give us extra information. M is the midpoint of QR. So M is there. So let's put it on the diagram, because it's not on the diagram. Therefore, QM equals MR. That's in the middle. Find the vector TM. Now the vector TM means start at T and end up at M. So I could say, right, it's the same as doing T, S, R and ending up at M. It's also the same as doing T, U, P, O, Q, ending at M. So if I want to find a vector that starts at T and ends at M, I just go along routes that I can write down. And I think that one I can write down. T to U, I can do that. U to P, I can do that. P to Q, I can do that, because that's our answer up there. And then Q to M, I think we can do that as well, can't we? So if I want the vector from T to M, I need to find the route that starts at T and ends at M. Any route will do, as long as I know each separate part. So let's write down each separate part now. T to U is 6p. U to P, that's using that piece of information I said right at the beginning, because they're parallel on the same length. That must be 6q as well. P to Q, well, that's the answer there, so let's write that in. And QM, remember what I said at the beginning? That's 6p, that's 6p, that's 6p, but going the opposite way, that is minus 6p. And as if this is going halfway, this is minus 3p. Is all that okay? Right, now let's simplify. We've got plus 6p there, minus 6p there, so it's going to cancel out. And minus 3p there, so I've got minus 3p. I've got plus 6q and plus 6q, I've got plus 12q altogether. You might need to listen to that again, I don't know if you do or not, but there we are. Shall we mark that before we go on? Nice and neatly, 1 mark for that vector, 1 mark for that vector, but actually there's 2 marks for this vector. So if you will get all 2 if you get it right, but you'll get 1 of them if you get it partly right. Okay, moving on.